Oh man, I am beginning to really like these live streams. Hello, hello. What am I doing with my life? How you going? It's a really cool username. What's up? What's up? Thank you, Thomas. Bird. Nice. What's up, Thomas? Yeah, feeling not too bad. Had a pretty tough night last night. I was taking ibuprofen a few times, but this morning I think the worst bit of the day is kind of past. I can somewhat swallow right now. Good morning, Jimmy. Dab, how you going? Hey, from Texas. What's up, man? What time is it in Texas right now? What's up, Pedro? Thank you, man. No, it was weird. Like, it's just tonsils, headache, and just febrile. Cold shivers, cold sweats. No cough, no respiratory symptoms other than the sore throat. Tonsils are huge. I can still, barely swallow, but it's not too bad. 3:32. Damn, man. Are you on night shift or what are you doing, man? Morning, Tom. How are you? 10:30 a.m. Barcelona. Man, that's one city I'd love to go to, man. Dennis, Rafsan, Ori. Everyone's jumping on now. Destin. Oh, Destin, appreciate that, man. I think everyone can do something every day, man. If there's anything you guys will ever learn from me, everything can be an opinion, man. But I feel like everyone should do something every single day. It does not matter how shitty you feel or whatever. Just auto-regulate it, man. That's it. 4:30 in Florida. Respect. If you're just in Lisbon, 9:33. Yeah, man. Hey, John, I am Western Suburbs. As long as you, be honest with yourself and you kind of work within your means, I think it's really good. What is better? Self-employed. Nice, man. That's true freedom. If you can be self-employed, you're your own boss. I don't know. Do you end up working really hard when you're self-employed because you never clock off? Is that a thing? 4:33 in Philippines p.m. 2:33 Canada. AM or PM? I would be AM, wouldn't it? Or maybe 1:30 in Victoria, British Columbia. Oh, okay. Yeah. 10:30 Paris, France. Man, this is such a cool thing, man. There's people from everywhere. Man, this whole technology thing, man. Look at this, man. Literally, we're like communicating. Everyone's from everywhere. South Korea, 4:30, 5:34. Singapore. Pozdrav, brate. Veljko, kako je? Veljko Tomić. When do you start squatting? I'll start now, man. Yeah, I hope that's what you mean. Michigan, 4:34. Tom, how you going, man? Hey, man. Kazakhstan. Oh, in Adelaide. Respect. Adelaide, man. Zdravo, Miloša, ponovo. From Malawi. Yeah, I feel like I'm onto something, man. From Wollongong. Oh, appreciate you, dude. It's always great hearing that you guys have some sort of positive influence from me. That's a beautiful thing for me to hear. Blood sugar in the morning, or have you just finished work? No, I didn't work today, man. I called in sick today. I was supposed to be at work. There's no point going to work and freaking working after cancer patients and whatnot if I'm contagious. Whatever this virus is, the last thing you want to do is give it to someone, a colleague or somebody sick. That's kind of like the thing I think about all the time. Would I want my sick relative look after a sick nurse? Because a lot of these people are vulnerable, so always stay away. Nice, man. Nice. You did a workout earlier. Oh, zombie squats. That's something I haven't tried yet. From Alhau, Portugal, 9:35. Good morning, man. From Germany. Bogdanator. I love that name. That's sick. Pozdrav, brate. Kako je? I appreciate you, Ben. From Korea. Wow. In strongman, I never thought about strongman seriously at all, man. I don't really do it. I don't train for it. Yeah, I gotta try zombie squats, man. I don't know. People are saying it's harder than normal high bar, front squat. No, Adam, man. I've kind of given up for the moment. Split Hrvatska. Pozdrav. I've given up all the lifting just for the moment while I'm kind of in this mind, setup of just training the lower back really hard, RDLs, block pulls. It's really hard to do anything once you smash yourself with freaking rack pulls, man. You can't really, do anything. My car, it's dirty as hell, man. I haven't done anything to it. Maybe one of these videos, man, I can do it. Although it's kind of hard to show, walk around. Maybe one of these days I will show you. It's rough and rugged Evo. Needs a lot of love. Paint's peeling on the hood and whatnot. It's always parked outside. That's the worst thing about it. It's always taking a hit from the weather in Australia, man. Temperatures get up to like 40, 45. So it's worse for the paint. Yeah, an Evo vlog. Greetings from Poland. Had any experience with piles? Not sure what piles is. I don't do any overhead pressing at all, man. Nothing at all. I did a little bit when I was doing all the lifting. Nah, I'm not feeling poppy, Ben. Still under the weather a little bit, but Milo, hey, from Denmark, how you going, man? Dobro jutro, dobro jutro. Would I say my training style is conjugate? My understanding of conjugate is there's a lot of variation. I don't have that much variation. I guess conjugate will be opposite to what I kind of try to do, which is high specificity. Although I do have quite a bit of variation. But the variation that I kind of do, I'm always seeking for specificity. But yeah, I feel like I do change up a lot of exercises all the time. Maybe on the accessories, I'm conjugate. Hey Mark, how are you, man? The plan for today, Mihailo, is literally, I'm gonna do front squats today instead of back squats. Do some singles, 60 kilos maybe, 100 kilos, I don't know, depends how I feel. The body's not as achy as yesterday, but I'm still mindful of the system as a whole. I don't want to tax it at all, so I'll just maybe do some singles today. The moral of the story today, like yesterday and the day before, is just active stretching, really. Sit in the hole, stretch the hips. Whoa, I almost spilled that. Supported or unsupported Bulgarians? Supported? What do you mean by that? Undulated and conjugate. Yeah, I can see that. Jel dolaziš ikad u Hrvatsku? Nismo bili nazad u Hrvatskoj ili Srbiji ili Bosni koliko smo došli ovdje, 22 godine, koliko, 24 godine. Maybe one day I'll head back to Croatia and visit the homeland. Never got around to it, man. As soon as we came here, straight into school, and after that, met a girl, settle down, have kids. It's almost like bang, bang, bang. It's always something. Do I know Canvas? I don't know who that is. What was the hardest session you've ever done since starting squat every day? Oh man, I would say the hardest session, it's maybe either the times I did like 100 kilos for 30 reps. Oh, easy, of course. The answer to that is the pig squat routine. Man, that pig squat routine, man, that will take your soul. I don't know if you guys know what the pig squat routine is, man. If you just type in my name in pig squat, you'll see it. Or just type in pig squat. Actually, there's a guy, a proper freaking strong dude, professional weightlifter, who I got this from. Oh, what was his name? forget the guy's name. He's somewhere from Scandinavia. I don't know whether it's Sweden, Norway, if it's Norway. Basically, he does the whole program. It's insane. Type in big squat routine and you'll be shocked how much volume and how much work it is, man. It's an insane amount of work. You basically start with a bar. You do a set of 20. And you basically go down in reps. So you go, one set 20, one set 90, one set 18, all the way to one rep. And every time you drop a rep, you add 10 kilos. So you go to 20, 30, 40, 50 kilos, 60 kilos, 70 kilos, all the way up to 210 for one. It's insane. Low bar squats, do you ever practice them? I don't like low bar squats, man. For me, they don't look good. They don't excite me because there's no mobility attached to it. For me, strength through a full range of motion is why I got excited about training. Hey, why, mate? That's why I got excited for Olympic weightlifting, for squats in general. That's kind of what was the fuel, the foundation for me training. When I see a low bar squat, it's great, it's all that, but it just doesn't excite me, man. It doesn't look aesthetic. It doesn't, remind me of the people that I, aspire to be. Klokhovs, Lewis, Tian Tao's, Clarence Kennedy's, these type of people. Olympic weightlifters, essentially. These guys, when I see full range of motion and what they do, I get excited. That to me is something that I aspire to be. I'm not a fan of low bar. You've had or known anyone that's been through hemorrhoids and training heavy every day? No. I know what hemorrhoids are, obviously, as a nurse. I don't know whether hemorrhoids are. To be honest with you, I think hemorrhoids is more related to diet more so than training, or like if you have. I guess there are some conditions like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, and whatever. Bowel conditions that. Did a fly just go in there? I thought a fly just went in there. So if you have a really hard stool every single day, you have to strain to pass the stool. That's kind of where hemorrhoids can come from. But with heavy lifting, like if you're bracing properly, like I think it's called rooting. I'm getting this from Elliot Holmes from back in the day, which is like bracing at the top and also drawing in the pelvic floor. That's how you should kind of brace. You shouldn't be pushing through the pelvic floor, right? That's my understanding. I don't have hemorrhoids, and I don't know anyone around me that's ever said that they've had hemorrhoids, although it's probably a hard thing to admit. I know people at my work. Always tease me, Levan, you're working on your hernia, you're working on your hemorrhoids. Have you got there yet? They tease me. All this heavy lifting is gonna get me a hernia and a hemorrhoid. And I'm always kind of saying to them, like, if you do it properly, you can't get it. Ever recognize you during one of your shifts? Yeah, actually, it's happened a few times, man. That's one of the few times you kind of go, Jesus, man, this internet thing's actually real. I've had a fella from work, from another department. I had to speak to this department for a specific reason. He was a pharmacist. And we were on the phone talking about a patient discharge or whatever, and he came down to help me out with the discharge medication, and he was like, oh dude, I watch your videos. It was like, it's such a cool thing, man. It's happened a few times with patients as well, where, triage people are like, oh dude, fun, man, I watch your shit. I know one of the fellas actually came in because I don't know what he was doing, like Olympic weightlifting, and he failed it at the back like this, and he dropped the bar and he hit him on his calf on the way down. And so he came in and he kind of got afraid that he had a Achilles rupture. That's kind of what he was fearing. And so he kind of wobbled up to triage, and I came out and he recognized. It was a really cool thing, man. Like, it doesn't happen often, obviously, but it's happened a few times. It's quite cool. All right. Eugene, Anton, how are you, man? It would be awesome to see you try some fitness tests to see what the daily squatting and training did for overall cardiovascular work capacity. Yeah, Eugene, that's something I could probably try. I don't think I'm very fit at all. I remember, it was the middle of last year. I remember I went for a jog down here, one of the parks. I did like 2-3K jog or something. I remember, before that I didn't jog for like long period of time. And I remember I was sore in the calves, man, in the Achilles, I was sore for a week, man. Like I actually got afraid that I did some like permanent damage, like tore something. I was so freaking sore because I'm not used to running. It's so funny. Aaron, finally, how you going, man? Finally caught one. So like, this is the stuff when you're like highly specialized. You gotta be very, very careful when you do other things. Like if I was to go play basketball right now and I was to jump and somebody would knock me off balance, I would be afraid falling and rolling my ankle because I'm not, like my nervous system isn't ready for that. My mind kind of knows what to do, but you gotta be careful with this thing. This is how I back when I first rolled my first ankle seriously, like 6 years ago or something like that. You know, I was heavy into weights. I didn't play basketball for like a year. Went in playing 3-on-3 pickup kind of ball, and I rolled my ankle so severely I snapped the fifth metatarsal, base of metatarsal, avulsion fracture. Like I actually snapped a bone in my foot. That's how severe a roll I had. And you know, when I was playing basketball, I'd roll ankles. I'd just walk it off. Like it was never a problem. Frederick, I can relate to getting heavier and starting jogging after not doing it for years. Achilles felt terrible. Yeah, man. I was shocked, man. Like, I was legit felt worried about it. You know, during the jog, I felt fine. Like, I felt my calves were tight and whatever. But, man, that following morning I woke up and I thought, shit, man. Like, have I tore something, man? Like, what's going on? It's a freaking mad jog, man. It really worried me. So, you know, I would have to probably start really slow. You know, I was watching a doctor talk about, Brendan says, about Zion's ankle injury, and he said one thing Steph Curry did to prevent repeat sprains is actually strengthen the hips. Yeah, I see that. Because if you lose, or if your hips get fatigued, probably lateral hip, you know, like glute med minimus, TFL, if that gets weak and you lose that external rotation, then you have knee valgus, and when you have knee valgus, then your ankle becomes really unstable as well. So, like I always say with squatting, man, it's all in the freaking hips, man. You could jump rope between sets on lighter days. Yeah, definitely. I actually respect jump rope because of boxing. I've always respected boxing, man. You know, one thing that I've learned about fighting, combat sports, you know, through UFC, through boxing, it's not so much about punching power, man. You know, unless you're Mike Tyson, you can knock people out in the first 30 seconds. It's a freaking cardio event. That's what boxing is, man. How long can you stay in the game? You know, 12 rounds of boxing, man. I remember back in the day when I was a kid, man, like 15, 14 years old. I remember a mate of mine and I in the backyard, we got some, you know, freaking gloves from Kmart. And we started shadow boxing, man, and you know, we were going kind of medium pace. We were bugged within 5 minutes, man. Like we were spent. And we were just kind of bouncing around, you know, jabbing or whatever. We were gone. So like when people do 12 freaking rounds of like high level boxing, you know, that's some proper fitness, man. Mihaila says, do you feel that you will eventually acclimate to higher intensity and volume if you continue pushing it? To some extent, Mihaila, I reckon I've acclimatized, you know, if you ease into things, man, you can acclimatize, you know, pretty well. You just have to ease into it, man. Something that I struggle with a lot because I like hammering it hard, especially when I change exercises for the first time. I want to see what this exercise is doing for me, and the way I do that is I hit it hard and I see how the body responds. It's not a good idea most of the time, but that's what I do. Marius says, are you planning on maxing out on squats in the near future? I never peak, man. I never peak. That's something I haven't done freaking ever, man. I don't peak because I always feel like I'm building. You know, if I get to a 280 or 290 squat and I want to peak for 300, that makes sense. But so what if I squat 215 or 220 or whatever? Like, so far away from my goal, I just keep building. Andriv, technically everyone squats every day when doing daily activities like tying your shoelaces. Yeah, I guess it depends how you tie your shoelaces, but yeah, I guess if we have a physical job and we spend a lot of time in the ATG position and, you know, bent over positions, like if you're weeding or something like that, digging trenches or whatever, trading, a lot of these positions that we need for weightlifting are not so foreign. Hello from Finland, Rufus. All right, let me get a bit of a warm up going. Oof. Let's turn the lights on. Gotta change the camera, huh? Oh man. Is that too dark, I wonder? Turn the lights on. Oh man. It's incredible when you have an inflamed body, like when you have a virus or whatever, what it does to the rest of the body, man. Jesus. Hips, knees, bones are sore. Thoughts on doing 500 for 24? Dobro osjetljeno, super, hvala vam. Thoughts on doing 500 for 24? I don't even know if that's naturally possible. So 500 is what? 230 odd kilos, if I'm not mistaken, for 24 reps. And I don't even know what, like, to do 500 for 24, you would probably need a 1 rep max of 700. I don't even know, man. Put it to you like this, man. I don't see anybody doing it naturally. ATG, high bar, 500 for 24, like Tom Platz did it. I don't see it, man. I think a few fellas recently have tried. I think Matt Wenning did it, but his squats are not ATG. Like, it's very much, you know, box squatty type thing. Ben, Ivan, do you think doing lots of overhead work will be beneficial for front squats, as upper back is often a limitation? The trouble with overhead press, it's not so much a function of, this is the thing, this is where specificity becomes very, very important with the accessory work. The trouble with front squats is thoracic extension, right? The bar wants you to do this. The force is trying to make you do this. When you're doing overhead work, like, I feel like, yeah, traps are working and deltoids are working, but the motion is up. There's no force that's making you do this. So in theory, I reckon, like, if you do like front raises, deltoid raises, like if you were to do this, you know, when people get a barbell or whatever, or dumbbell, and it's like a bodybuilding move, doing that, because that force wants you to do this, and you're kind of fighting against it. I see that being of benefit. Maybe overhead press because they hit some sort of like knee and muscle fibers, but you want thoracic extension because that's the force that's kind of trying to collapse you in. This is how I think about when I think about carryover of exercises. Overhead fatigues my lower back, and I feel it in my squats. Alternate seated overhead row. So if your lower back is hurting in overhead press, that means your glutes are shutting off. You got to really, really focus on glute contraction to prevent that. Lumbar extension, you know, because the glutes, when they engage, you keep your lower back flat. That's what I would say. Milosh says you're looking at it wrong. Overhead press from a true front rack pulls your lats back and tight. If you hold the bar with forward hands in the front squat, you will benefit from this. Maybe, like if you hold it as like a full rack, like a front rack, you mean? Yeah. I don't know. Maybe if you do a push press, I see that working. I don't know, I could be wrong. I definitely could be wrong. Hoće doći Mica kod tate. Dođi vam, dođi ti sine. Jer tata snima, vidi, dođi vam. Ko je to? To je neki ciko tamo gleda kako mi treniramo. Ti si Mica? Kaži svima, ja sam Mica.
Ja sam Mica.
Ti si Mica? Kako se ti zoveš, sine?
Zlatan.
Ti se zoveš Zlatan? Eto vidiš.
Šta je to?
Pa viš to Čiko piše meni nešto, piše mi poruku. Čiko mi piše poruku i onda ja pročitam i... I onda kaže, ljubiš mene? O, maš svima. Ćao. Ajde ući, sad će tata doći malo, sad tata malo još trenira. Ćao drugari. Yeah, I get that all the time. The little fella looks like me, carbon copy. Yeah, everyone says that. They look like me. Gorgeous little guys. Yeah. No DNA test required. Yeah, well, my kids are. Well, I'm trying to make them bilingual. The little girl is always talking to me in English, like she can understand us when we're talking in Serbian, but she's always replying in English. But yeah, the little guy, he can speak both. But this is the thing, like when they go to school, like, you know, they just want to speak English all the time, but we're trying our best to teach them. Language is power. That's what I said to the little one the other day. I said, you know, you have to learn how to speak our language. You have to retain it because it's only going to be a benefit to you, you know. I remember initially when we started going to reception, you know, there was a bit of trouble because, you know, he grew up in a household we always speak, you know, Serbian. You know, my in-laws and my parents that's always speaking Serbian. So when he rocked up, he had difficulty, you know, with understanding the teacher and whatever. But you have to understand, like, he's got 2 languages he's working with. Lifting the mood off the gym, bro. That's it. Thoughts on leg press? You know, the leg press, I've recently had a bit of a flirt with leg pressing. I think for hypertrophy reasons, like I can see where the leg pushing strength comes from, but one thing that I've kind of realized is that I don't think squatting is limited in most cases by leg pressing. I know it sounds weird. Squatting in my, especially ATG, man, it's a lot of glute and it's a lot of core. You know, I think that's a limiting factor. So if you were to squat, you do a block of squatting versus a block of leg pressing, you have much more benefit from the squatting, because, I mean, if you squat and you added an accessory as a leg press, that could be good. But if you know, omitted squatting altogether and just did leg press, I don't think you do yourself justice. I wouldn't worry about them not speaking the language as long as they understand it. My cousins were the same, but just confidence thing when younger. Yeah, I mean, you know, when I speak to the little girl, my little girl, she understands everything. So I'll be like, you know, can you do this, blah, 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 can you come here in Serbia? And she understands fully what's going on. It's just, she just chooses to, you know, I think it's easier for her to express herself. Georges, hello from Japan. Hey man, how are you? Let me get another little set. Incredible how heavy a freaking bar, just the bar can feel. Al Nasser says, you talked about depression yesterday. Oh, I talked about several times a day, I'm reminded of my ex and it all comes back to me. How can I avoid this? Look, man, several times a day I think about some of the bad things that happened to me, bad experiences. Don't avoid it, acknowledge it. Shit happened. Shit will continue to happen, and you just gotta accept it. That's part of the life experience. It's part of the chink in your armor. You can't avoid some of these experiences, man. You know, they're part of you now. I think the worst thing we can do is try to forget things, forget the traumas in our life. I feel like if you accept it, process it, you know, long term, it's going to be better for you. You know, we've all been through shit, man. You know, heartbreak and all that. Yeah, we've been there, man. It's part of it. You know, if you think about it, that just means, man, that it's affected you. It was a big deal for you, and rightly so. I mean, you probably loved that girl, you know, and didn't go the right way for whatever reason, fate or any other reason you want to think of. But it's that's what makes you, man. You're pretty stoic, man. Hey, I didn't even know what that word meant until somebody mentioned it on here about stoicism, man. That's how I naturally look at life. Again, it's my coping mechanism for the shit that I went through. Not so much me, like my family. You know, I was a kid, you know, during the war and whatever, but you know, it's kind of like you grow up in a household that's always talking about this member died, this member died, you know. I grew up in these stories, and so if you're not stoic, I don't know what you are. Men have to be stoic, absolutely, man. Like, what are you gonna do? You know, I don't know what the alternative is. Like, if you're not stoic, what are you? How can you be strong and look at adversity? You know, I don't know. Oh, appreciate it, El Nassar, man. Appreciate it. You know, I always say to people, man, like I can only share my experiences in my life with you guys, and then you take that on board and you kind of process it for yourself. But you know, I'm not an expert. You know, I'm just somebody that's sharing their life experience with everyone. You know, I think what allows me maybe a little bit more experience is because of the work I do. You know, when you're on a daily basis talking to people in bad situations in life, some they're doing, some not they're doing, you kind of see how people approach different things. And you know, over years, after like 13 years of nursing and plus your normal everyday life struggles, you kind of start to work out what freaking works for people in general and what doesn't. What I have, you know, realized is that shit happens, you turn to alcohol and substances, that's not a good path. Embrace the suck, man. You feel shit, that's okay, man. A large part of life is supposed to be spent sad. That's what it is, man. That's how life is supposed to be, unfortunately. I wish it was all freaking happy times, but it's not. Oh, that's too high. Alright. Let me try a little wider grip now that I'm kind of messing around with front squat. Let me try a little wider grip. So, thumb width away. Oh, see that? I already feel that in shoulders. That feels bad. Yeah, that's a lot of pressure on the shoulder. Oh man. Maybe I should over time get a little wider. Because if I go wider, I can get a fuller grip on the bar. More people in chat than. Yeah, I wonder if people are doing squat every day. There's a bunch of people that message me all the time who do squat every day. Oh, okay. For me, man, when I go wider grip on the front squat, I just feel like my freaking shoulders want to dislocate or something, man. I don't know which muscle it is, but infraspinatus, is that I just feel it really deep in the shoulder. Doesn't feel good. Toshiki, oh dude, I know about Toshiki, man. I don't know, like he's a monster. One thing that I don't understand about him, man, like I watched him at the Olympics, he's not very good at weightlifting. I know it's stupid, but he can squat so much. I was thinking like, man, he's gonna smash everyone. he didn't. It's really weird, you know. Like obviously he's really good at squatting, but I reckon his pulling is really bad, which probably explains why he's good at squatting, because people that are really good at squatting have leverages that allow them to do that. This is the thing, if you have short legs and long torso, you're gonna struggle with pulling. So this is the thing, man. You know, it's a trade-off. Everything's a freaking trade-off. You know, so for him, like, he needs to work a lot on his deadlift, pulling, you know, mechanics. Ragnar, I do, man. I speak Serbian. How many chin-ups can I do in a row? Chin-ups. Chin-ups, if I did it right now, I could bang out 15 for sure. I've always kind of been alright with chin-ups and pull-ups. I could probably do 15 chin-ups, I'd say, without training them at all. What is a good size for beginner's squat plug? Start with the smallest, ease into everything. It's every type of squat. Actually, I talked about this week. One of the earlier videos of this week, front squat, man. I think front squats are the best. I'm enjoying them the most. Brate moj, kako je? By the way, is it getting too dark? Should I turn the lights on? Let me know if, is it getting too dark? I feel like it's getting a bit dark. Turn this on. Yeah. I'll do one more of those and I'll add weight. Oh, I've got a headache now. Is sumo cheating? Thomas Elliott. Asked me 5 years ago, hell yeah. Now, I don't think so. What is cheating though, is those freaking flimsy bars that people are using. A lot of the people that we see right now doing like crazy shit in sumos, using a freaking bar that bends, man. It's kabuki bars and whatever. I think that's what's giving sumo a bad name, because people are cutting the range of motion with the type of deadlift that they're doing. Then they use a freaking shitty bar. Use a stiff bar. Use a stiff bar and go from there. Because as we all know, you know, sumo is really hard off the floor. Easy on top. So people use a flexi bar and they jump over, you know, the hard part of the lift. You know, if you use a kabuki bar, you know, whatever, 1,000 pounds seems to be like every other guy's doing it. So it seems, at least. But then you see the guys who are like using stiff bar, and I think it's IPF that they just have stiff bars. Then you start seeing a real hit in some of these numbers. How many chin-ups and pull-ups can you do in a row? I just said before, Pedro, man, probably 15. I'd say 15. Confident with that. Full range of motion, all that. Medical stories always make me, look at the world differently and genuinely make me feel happy. Yeah, man, there's a lot of medical stories out there for me, man. A lot of the times you guys trigger me with the thought or whatever, and then I kind of get reminded of stories, but there's a lot of them, man. A lot of them. Lots of shit happening every day. Adrian says, I'm heading down to Adelaide to visit family over Christmas. Where should I lift? Man, I lift at Dermot. Dermot is the gym that I lift at. It's probably the best one. I think casual admission is like 15 bucks or something. 10 or 15. I think it's 15 now. It's a good gym, man. Like, you know, all of my videos are from there. The reason why I went there initially is because when they opened up here in Adelaide, that was so cheap, man. Like, membership for the year was 150 bucks. Now it's about 350, you know, since, you know, COVID and inflation, all that hit. But it was so cheap, man. So cheap. And the best equipment, you know, deadlift platforms everywhere. Now they've gone up a little bit, but that's where I would reckon you go, man. And they're staffed 24/7, so you can like pull up at 1 a.m. if you wanted to, and there's somebody there. Durham be the alpha lane, yeah, something like that, definitely. All right, let me do another empty bar lift, and we'll add some weight. Oh man. Birds chirping. Can you guys hear that like, clearly? The birds chirping. I always feel like the sound is different than real life. Like I think the chirping gets picked up like louder than I'm hearing it. It's weird how microphones work. Have you been sick with anything worse than a common cold during the squat every day? Have you noticed changes to the immune system now versus when you started? I've been sick several times, dude. Like I've had ear infections. I think the first 100 or so days I had a real like bad ear infection. It was like with me on and off for like 2 weeks. I think the worst I felt was the COVID this year in March. Man, I felt like I was 90 years old, man, for like 3 days. It really got me bad. Fevers, headaches, bone weakness, myalgia, like all that stuff, man. Like I was bedridden basically for 3 days. Still came in here and squatted the empty bar, whatever, you know. A mental exercise, really. My immunity took a dump, man, when my kids started going to like childcare, to school. I've never been more sick in my life than this year, dude. Like I've been sick like 5 times, 4 times. It's insane, man. Like these kids, man, they're like bathing in like toxic freaking viruses every single day, man. So, you know, you go on holiday, everyone gets well for 2 weeks. First week back at school, I'm sick. It's like every single time there's like a different virus or something. It's crazy. And it probably doesn't help that I kiss my kids all the time and like, you know, I don't know. I'm well aware that if I kiss my kids I might lose a week of training, but it is what it is, man. Priorities. But generally speaking, yeah, I've been pretty healthy, you know. It's just all the external stuff, like, I don't even know, man. I mean, this is a topic for another time, but I don't know, like the immunity thing, is it the school my son's going to, or is it all the jabs from the vaccines? Like, both me and my wife have been sick like so much, and my best friend, like, he's got the same the cameraman, his kid goes to the same school as my kid at the same age basically, and they've been sick like crazy as well. So I don't know if it's just the kids or if it's the freaking vaccine that's done something to them. I don't know, man. Like, I mean, this is not COVID. Clearly it's a virus of some other sort, but I don't know, dude. Freaking always sick, man. It drives me insane, you know. So I have like a couple of weeks really good at training, and then I pick something up, and it's almost like, all right, it's a deload in a way, but it drives me freaking bonkers. All right, let's go sit. You tried foam rolling? I have, man. Like everyone else. Tried, but I don't know, man. It's not enough pressure, man. I don't know, I guess you can use PVC. I've got a couple of PVC pipes that I use. I got foam rollers, this type, that type. I don't know. Never really felt like I was doing anything. Foam rolling sucks, yeah, I would say as well, man. Dorma says frequency of sickness has skyrocketed for me also, and it's really counterintuitive considering I'm training more and eating cleaner than before. Yeah, dude, I don't know what to tell you, man. Honestly, like, my immune system, everyone around me, we're getting so sick, man. Like, I don't know if that's the people that I have around me. Everyone's got young kids going places and things, but I don't know. It's hard to, you know, work out a causation, but man, they've pumped us all these freaking jabs, man. I've had three jabs, and I feel like it's done me more bad than anything. YOLO says, after COVID, I got non-stop muscle fibrillations and cramps. Do you, by chance, have... Oh, man, I don't know what that is, man. Can't say. Facilitation, yeah. Fibrillations. Whoop. Yeah, I don't know what that is, man. Sounds like it's some sort of like chemical imbalance. You are out with magnesium, potassium levels. That's what I'm thinking. Would inclined trains have squat upper chest to create a better shelf? So the chest has got nothing to do with the front rack, man. If your chest is involved in your front rack, you're probably too far out. It's more shoulders. There's like a little thing here that the shoulders, like a little cup, a little plate where you rest the bar. And your collarbones kind of also are involved a little bit, but if it's on the chest, it's way too low, like it's way too out in front of you. Hay fever is a killer. Well, that's probably mixed in with why I'm sick, you know. Springs here, I call it tree sperms in the air, like literally like pollen everywhere. So that's probably irritated me, made me susceptible to viruses because I'm all swollen and whatever. And, well, thank you, man. Thanks. Yeah, the haircut was last week, I reckon. Correct, chest does nothing. It should be in front of the collarbone. Yeah, exactly. Your trees have sperm, that's it. That's what I call it, man. There's bees around everywhere, they're transporting the sperm. Carlo, what's up, man? How you going? Just shooting some free throws. Yo, man, what's going on? If money was never an issue, what would you be doing now? If money was not an issue, people have asked me this all the time, man. Like, if you made enough money from YouTube, what would you do? Or if you didn't have a lot of, if you were financially, you know, emancipated, like you're just done, like you don't have to work a day, I'd probably be doing this a lot more, man, to be honest with you. This is my happy place, man. It doesn't make sense to, you know, not do more of it if it's a thing. I still probably would nurse. I think nursing is it's more than money, man. Nursing is more than money, man. It exposes you to people in interesting moments in their life. And there's a lot of wisdom, a lot of lessons out of that. So I think I'll always be a nurse, regardless of what it is. Even if freaking I'm earning billions of dollars or whatever the case might be, which is not a possibility, but nursing is great, man. Like, if you're not nursing, I'll probably do some charitable thing, you know. But you know, with nursing, it's not just charity, like giving people out, you know, food at the homeless shelter or whatever. Like, nursing is a skilled thing. So if I was to move away from emergency nursing, say, and go do another job, you de-skill very quickly, man. Like, you know, if you're away from a research room, like I've had 6 weeks off, 8 weeks off at a time. You come back and it's like, shit, like, what's the algorithm again? You know, advanced life support. You feel uncomfortable when somebody comes in that's pericardiac arrest. You know, but when you're doing it weekly all the time, you kind of feel comfortable in these high pressure situations. And I think I like that, man. I like feeling competent in a research room. I like thinking about that, man. It's a good feeling. I know I always kind of feel a little bit iffy after a holiday. You come in, you're like, shit, I'm allocated to the research room. Like, damn. Because when you're there every day, like, you know exactly all the algorithms, you know all the infusions you set up, like, you're comfortable, you know. It's a skill like anything else. Like, if you don't swap for 8 weeks, you're gonna feel a bit weird. You're gonna feel weird, man. Good morning, man. Viking. Good morning, man. From Spain. Yeah, I've even wasted $500 on a Theragun gimmick. Oh, I've got a gun as well, man. I've got a massage gun. It's not too bad. I don't mind it. You know, I actually want to get one of my family members, brother-in-law. I want to get him a gun as well. It's a neat little thing, man. I don't know what it does, but it at least makes you feel good. Steinburn squat. Oh man, that's familiar. I don't exactly know what it is. I forgot. I'm not going to tune in live to the 280, but man, am I intrigued about the fight, the main event. Islam or what's his name? Vieira. What's his name? I've forgotten his name. The jiu-jitsu master. Oliveira, that's the one. Yeah. He's a gun, man. Overhead press, probably. I'll probably get into overhead pressing again as an accessory to all the lifting. Charles Oliveira, yeah, man, what a gun he is, man. I feel like if I was a UFC fighter, like if this was UFC for me, man, I reckon my staple will be I spend most of my time with groundwork, jiu-jitsu, man. Because like I feel like if you get really good at striking, like say like Conor McGregor, that's well and good, man. Like, but if you don't knock me out in that first hit, man, I'll get close to you, you're fucked. I feel like grappling and groundwork, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, that's the staple of a fighter. That's the staple of a fighter, man. You hope Oliveira wins. I feel like a lot of the West is going to go for, makes sense. A lot of the West is going to go for Oliveira, and I reckon a lot of the Eastern guys, like, you know, are going to go for Islam. It's really kind of East versus West kind of thing, isn't it? Islam for the win. There you go. Islam seems to be good at everything. I don't know. Mr. Clean, do you think heavy weight with the engagement of your back is the reason why rack pulls help your deadlift so much? With the engagement of your back is the reason why rack pulls. The reason why rack pulls help my deadlift is because weirdly, really weirdly, rack pulls help you off the floor. As counterintuitive that is, that's the conclusion that I've come up with. I've tried deficit pulls, they didn't help me on the floor, it kind of made me weaker. I'm weak off the floor, that's my assessment. Doing rack pulls helps me off the floor, I think, because it taxes the living hell out of the upper back and it teaches you, forces you to get really tight with your lats. When I lock my lats in and all that shoulder complex, I feel stronger off the floor. All of the power that I exert into the bar in the bottom position gets translated into motion. That's why I think it's what's happening. Danny, I'm from Australia, man. How much did you weigh when you hit 3 plates? So I started training at 25. I reckon I hit 3 plates. Oh, I want to say 27. Would that be fair to say? 27? 2 years, I reckon. At 27, so when my son was born, I was weighing, I want to say like upper 80s, maybe 87 or something like that, 88 kilos I reckon I was. I reckon something like that. Gregorio Miller, are you Natty? I'm Natty, my friend, yes. Pozdrav iz Zemuna. Marko, kako je, man? Where did you shrug before deadlift ritual came from? Where did it? There's a guy called, he's got a YouTube channel and Instagram. His name is Kevin Bowie. Asian fella from Melbourne, Australia. I saw it from him, like incredible lift. I think he weighs like 80 kilos or something like that, and his deadlift is like 300 odd kilos, something like that. Oh man. His deadlift is like 300 kilos. I mean, initially I saw it from him, but he does it just to get his straps tighter. I tried it and I thought, shit, man, this kind of locks me in, puts my glutes kind of in the game. You know, when I do that, it's almost like a what do you call it? A glute thrust in a way. Every time I do that, then I sit up properly and I feel like my glutes, I know where they are, and I use them more, and I feel like the weight's lighter. Drago mi je, prat. Hey, fala, man. You struggle with deadlift grip. What grip do you use, man? What do you use? Oh, but that's a message. Let me get that. Crackle, crackle. Click your knees. Yeah, man. The worse the hips are, the more clicky they get. Try hook or just straps if you are not going to compete. Yeah, that's what I would say. Hey, man, Christopher Sphere. I've been watching you for over a year now. Your videos are just great. Been focusing on my squat for over 7 months now, and I thank you for igniting the love for squats in me. Appreciate to hear that, Christopher, man. Keep going, keep squatting, man. You ever seen all the wildlife in Australia? I've seen some of it. You know, I'm not much of a camper or that kind of guy. If you got long femurs, man, you just have more requirement for mobility, especially when it comes to the squat. You need to really clean up your hips. That's the only way you're going to overcome the bad biomechanics you have. Hip internal external rotation, you got to really work on that. Short femur guys don't have to worry about it because they're just like, they have advantages to that. So if you're a tall guy, long femur guy, whatever, you got to really focus on your core, anterior core predominantly, and your hip mobility. That's where you got to spend most of your time. If you've got long femurs, you're probably pretty good at deadlifting. So that's not something that you're going to suffer with. It's squatting for long femurs that's the trouble. Oof. Should I add weight? I won't. No point at all. Ciao, ciao, kako je? Cracking joints. Are you Australian? I am Australian, man. Seriously training since I was 25, 33 now, so 8 years. Yeah, it's really nice right now. It's like, I don't know, 17 degrees, 18 degrees, or something like that. Oh, maybe 15 now, it's cooler. It's really nice, no wind at all. It's a beautiful night. Beautiful night. Oh, definitely. You know, it's all about the hips. You know, hips protect you, protect your knees. I've always felt that it's all in the hips. So if you got back pain, knee pain, man, check your hips, check your glutes. That's where you know, that's how you keep your knees out. Like if you're knee valgus and whatever, man, it's always the same response with me, man. It's all about the hips. That's what I really feel like. Keeps everything in check. Još ima žuti evolution. Imam. Tu je još. Hips don't lie. Shakira knew it all along, man. Thoughts on engaging the quads in conventional deadlift? Just depends on your other proportions. Like if you got short arms, you're gonna have trouble engaging the hips and engaging the quads. But one thing you can do is rotate your feet out a little bit, so you can send your knees a bit further out. That's a little trick to kind of get more knees involved. That's what I would say. One little trick. All right, guys, it's been an hour or so. Greetings from Bulgaria. Keep going. Thank you, Mihail. Let me wrap it up here, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow, let's see what happens. Maybe I'll have a proper session, maybe not. Let's see how I recover from tonight, and we'll reassess tomorrow. But last couple of days are just appreciate you, man, Hamza. Last couple of days have been just, come in, say hello to the bar, stretch out a little bit, and that's it. Thank you guys. I'll catch you tomorrow. I'll probably do another live stream tomorrow. I'll train tomorrow again at home, and we'll go from there. I'm looking forward to getting back to the proper training, but I can't push it too early. Gotta let it rest. All right, guys. Catch you all guys later. All from around the world. Look how many people are. So many people from so many different places. This is such a cool thing. This live streaming business, man. Such a cool thing. Catch you in the next one, fellas. See ya.